In this video we're going to explore LegalTrack, which is one of the member databases available to you, a Jenkins member, 24/7 from your desktop at home or in the office. I'm at the Jenkins website and I've logged in with my last name and my member number, and I'm at the Member Center, which lists all the databases that you can access on one page. It's a great place to go to get all of your resources in one spot. I'm going to give you a vertigo for a minute here and just scroll down a little bit, and here's the link for LegalTrack. I'm going to click the Access button, and now I'm going to go into LegalTrack. LegalTrack and General OneFile essentially have the same user interface because they're published by the same publisher, Gale. Most of the other databases that we make available to you as members have different interfaces. So, everything looks a little differently, but once you understand certain functionality, you can look for it in other places. For example, there's always a white search box, so if you want to go the Google route for a white search box, you can. There's always an advanced search box which lists, let me just open this in another tab real quick, all of the fields that you can access, and we'll look at that later on in the video. But what my point in all of this is to say there are certain things that are always present no matter who makes the interface, and we're going to look at some of them in this video. We're going to really do two things in this video look at LegalTrack. The first part, we'll deal with publication search to see what types of publications are in LegalTrack. Okay? Second part of the video, we'll deal with things like how do I do searches to find journal articles from all different types of publications in LegalTrack. Okay, so let's get started with the publication search. Now, I could use the white googly box, but I'm going to click the publication search button here, and I'm going to type in possibly a very boring query, but there's a reason behind the boringness. I'm just going to type in the word ABA, and you can see you get some suggested queries, just like Google gives you suggested queries as well. I'm not going to choose them. I want to put in the word ABA, and I want to I want to limit to full text articles. There are other limits on this page, other ways to get a smaller result set. I'm not going to use them there, but all of these work. But when you don't know, probably the easiest thing to say is I want full text, which is really what you want. You don't want a citation, you don't want an abstract, you want the full text of the article. In this case, I want to know what ABA journals do you have that are full text. Okay, and here's the results page, two of them. Okay, ABA Journal and the ABA Banking Journal. ABA Journal goes back full text 2007 to the present. Okay, and if you click on the link, you get the page with the years, and there's this little information icon that tells you, there is sort of an embargo, which is a dramatic word. Just think of it as a time lag from when the journal gets published, and I'm making air quotes here, in print, and when it hits the online databases. So they actually tell you right off the bat 14 days. Some of the other databases don't give you this precise number, but there's at least 2 weeks between when it is published and when you see it in Gale. So I'm actually videoing this in late June, and the April 1st edition is the latest one. So just leave it at that. I'm not going to even go beyond that. So if I click the April 1st issue and you scroll down, you'll see that there are 23 articles. Sometimes you'll see a save button, and then sometimes, let me see if I can hopefully find it without giving you, again, vertigo, my word of the day here. Okay, I don't. So here's the deal. If there is a PDF of the text available, you'll see a button that says PDF pages. If you don't see a PDF button, then the title will give you the full text of an HTML version of the article. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. You just don't get a PDF, you get an HTML. And I've scrolled down to this article. What everyone is wearing, data from wearable devices is being eyed as evidence in the courtroom. So I click on this, and this is the full text of the article. Okay, and one thing I wanted to point out at the end of this video is you'll see here it says illustration omitted. This is the full text of the article, it just doesn't have any images. Now, is that the end of the world? Is that a big deal? Well, depends on the article. Let me give you an idea as a comparison here. And this is why I picked the ABA journal for this part of the video. Hein Online, which is another member database, also has the ABA journals, okay? And they have quite a few ABA journals, right? And they go back in time, for example, for the ABA journal to 1915, which is much more coverage than, say, LegalTrack has. Am I trying to make a point about Hein being better than LegalTrack? No. What I'm saying is, with databases, very often the same publication that you're looking for does pop up in multiple databases, and it's helpful for you to know where you can go to get access to it. Especially if, for example, you don't have access to Hein, but you have access to LegalTrack, at least you know, right? And let's look at this specific article as well. This article here that we've looked at has the full text, but do I want that illustration? Well, let me look at it. Let me show you it in Hein. This is the illustration that's omitted, which is, as far as I'm concerned, this is stock art, that we could get away without even looking at. Who cares about that? And there's an ad for shirts on the page. So have I lost anything in having this edition or this version of the article as opposed to this? No, the only thing you have with this is you can actually say this is exactly as it was published in the journal. But if you really only want the information, the text, this is perfectly good enough. Okay, so that was my whole reason for picking ABA journals, is to talk about different versions of the same journal in different databases. Be aware of that. One may be just as good as the other, even though it doesn't have images. It really depends on what you're looking for, what your query is, how much the text matters to you as opposed to everything else. But it's very easy in LegalTrack to see what publications there are on a given topic, if that topic appears in the title of the journal, and find out what years of coverage there are. In the next part of the video, we'll actually do some full text searching.